Good morning, Amelans. Yeah, just hold on. It's just gone to the toilet.
There's big money in the personal injury business. Last year, insurance companies settled claims worth more than £7 billion.
There's obviously something major problem with this claim. Give him 21 days or else we're pulling it. Because it's wasting our time. Yeah. Wasting your time, wasting my time.
For 6 months, the BBC was given access to a firm of no-win, no-fee solicitors who specialise in getting cash payouts for accident victims.
If you're not organising, you're not on every case and pushing every case, then, you know, it's going to go sadly wrong.
If they don't win the cases they work on, they don't get paid.
You know something? It's funny you said that because I think you look like David Hasselhoff as well. In fact, you got my colleague actually next to me. We really do think you look like David Hasselhoff. My colleague agrees with me.
Manchester firm Amelans process thousands of claims a year. But it's a tough business. Competitors spend millions on advertising campaigns and insurers delay payouts. Andrew Twombly runs the firm with his partner, Martin Cox. It's a stressful profession. Each day they're looking for new ways to get business in. This morning, a new case has appeared, right on their doorstep.
Cookie's had an accident. Let's go and check him out. Smashed his car up. Always said he would.
It sounds like him. The rumbling sound. It's a pathetic little car he's got. Look at that. What a girl's car that is. God, what's got written on it? Passion wagon or something.
25-year-old Phil Cookson is a paralegal at Amelans. He's just back from the police station.
So what happened then?
Van driver, he's come round me and decided he wants my lane and that I shouldn't be there.
Where's it hit you? Here?
Smacked me on wing there, clipped out wing mirror, at the door.
So it's 2 panels?
Yeah.
And then what does he say about it?
I drove off.
That doesn't sound too wise.
Doesn't sound too wise, but it wasn't.
So you drove off for what?
Yeah, it sounded better than a kick in the face because he pulled up and 2 of them jumped out, quite burly bloke, so I wasn't hanging around for it.
And what did the policeman say?
The police said it might look bad on me if it ends up going to court because I've driven off.
Do you want to go home?
I should be all right to carry on. Just a bit shaky more than anything.
Right.
It's just warm me up.
Better go and sit down, get a cup of coffee then.
Yeah.
We'll see how the girls are.
Okay.
Right.
The case couldn't be closer to home. Jenny, another paralegal, was a passenger in Phil's car.
Really worrying, actually, because when the 2 guys got out of the car and just came towards us, it's like, oh my God, we're going to get battered as well. So we just drove and reported it straight to the police. Phil Cookson is very much into his fast cars. He used to go to a lot of cruises, which is like races and all modified cars and everything. And so everyone thinks that, oh yeah, Cookson involved in a car accident, you know, it's definitely his fault, and he really wasn't.
I like fast cars. I like the old classic cars, whereas everyone whinges at me to get a new car that's more reliable. Every weekend I'm under this, changing oil or getting covered in something because something's broke on it, but my car is one of my most prized possessions. Someone hitting the car rather than hitting me, I'd prefer them to hit me.
Jenny's got whiplash, which means she's also got a compensation claim.
It's just, oh yeah, it's painful and you can't prove it, but no, it is. It's really annoying when it's like, okay, I know how all the clients feel now. I'll believe them next time.
Expect some personal injury.
Thank you.
Whiplash, if you can prove it, usually nets the client a couple of grand. Senior partner Martin Cox is working on a case that could be worth considerably more.
There's an obvious injury to the knee here. It's difficult to see from that exactly what the injury is. I mean, there may be, I don't know, tendon or ligament damage. You can't really tell.
The photos Martin's looking at are from a client in Newmarket who says he was hit by a car.
Sometimes, I mean, that, for example, could just be bad bruising, but you don't know if there's any soft tissue damage. And sometimes when you get photos, it's very obvious what the injury is. You know, I mean, we've had photos of people with sort of half their heads off and stuff like that, and it's pretty obvious. I don't think that that's relevant to anything really, but there we are.
Down in Newmarket, John Sutherland insists his injuries weren't caused by any accident.
Came out of Chinese, there was a lad driving around the car park, pulling handbrake turns and wheels spinning around. So I've come back and decided to try and stop him because he is going to hurt someone. I've gone to reach into the car to grab the keys out. He's then driven off and taken me along here, and he's clipped a car and sort of wedged me in between it. As he's done that, that's made him stop, so he's reversed back, and as he's reversed back, I've gone to walk off to my car, which was parked over here, and as I get to about here somewhere, he's accelerated forward and hit me over the bonnet of the car. I was lucky to be alive, really, that's the main thing.
There should be no shortage of evidence to back up John's story. The car park's got blanket CCTV.
The first thing is to find out if this guy's run him over is insured or not. If he's insured, then we go against his insurers. If he's not insured, then there's a possibility of a claim against the Motor Insurance Bureau. It seems to me that it's a pretty good case. I mean, obviously I'm going to have to look at the CCTV footage before I can make a definite decision, but it looks like the type of case that we'd want to take on, yeah.
When you've got an 18-year-old Escort XR3i, you don't want to be off the road for long. Phil's off to the body shop for a repair quote.
To the insurance companies, it's only a D-Reg Escort. To me, it means more than that.
If the quote's higher than the value of the car, it's a write-off.
Could be anything. I haven't got a clue. I'm just hoping it's not more than the car's worth, because then I'll lose it.
This part here is going to have to be replaced.
Yeah.
The wing and the wheel arch.
Right.
Spat there, that's going to have to be replaced. This dormer has obviously been caught in the accident, the marks here on the door. I'll get the estimate together and then we'll get it priced up for you, OK? Would you like me to fax it through to you?
Yeah, you can do. It's just gutting more than anything because it's been dry stored for 2 years.
Really?
Yeah.
How long have you owned the vehicle?
I've only had it about 3 months. The lad who's had it before me has spent an absolute fortune on it.
Really?
It's just a shame some monkey can't drive properly. I've got to deal with it now. Oh, I'll be tapping my fingers on the desk until that fax arrives.
Senior partner Andrew Twombly is dealing with a few defects in his own bodywork.
Developed an unfortunate little medical problem which needs fairly urgent attention. Go along to see this GP and he finds a problem with the rhythm of the heart. I asked him what caused all this problem. That's the only thing I could put it down to. Or stress. Stress. I've got no home life stress, so if I've got any stress, it's at work.
The GP has referred Andrew to a heart specialist for further tests.
It feels like you're putting a hammer on my arm.
I know, we're terrible, aren't we?
Oh, yes.
Awful.
Got used to it, though.
Ready? Looking the other way?
Looking the other
Little
way.
sting?
If the condition goes untreated, there's a chance Andrew could suffer a stroke.
OK, Andrew.
Andrew urgently needs an operation, but his blood needs to be thinned out for it to be successful.
OK, the result today is 2.0. Now, what Dr. Horner wants is the level to be 2.5 to 3 before he can do the procedure. So you're nearly there.
When I actually go in for the procedure itself, it's not inside as such, is it?
No, it's not an operation. It's a procedure, if you like.
Yeah.
He'll give you an injection to make you sleeping.
I don't know anything about
You'll
it.
be away with the fairies, yes. You'll have a gap. And then he'll wake up afterwards at a talk.
That's perfect. Wednesday's fine.
That's right.
Thanks a lot.
OK,
Cheers.
cheers.
See you again next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Next week, he anticipates it'll down to between 2.5 and 3. So hopefully next week will be the last time I'm there. And my wife says, if you've got to have it done, you've got to have it done.
And what about your colleagues?
They just laugh at me and call me an old cripple.
Phil's fax has arrived.
£1,106.79. Jesus. The wheel on its own is 140 quid.
It's £500 more than the car's worth.
Jeez. Well, the insurance won't see my car as being worth more than £1,000, so that's a complete write-off. I think I'll have to go and buy Auto Trader at dinner.
Martin and Andrew have tracked down the CCTV tape from the shopping centre where John Sutherland says he was run over.
There he is coming out the Chinese. Put his hand through the car. Car runs off. Runs over his foot. Reverses. And he's hurt his arm because his arm was in the car when the car drove off. And then runs him over. And he's dropped his Chinese. Looks back. Can have another go at him. Then he's off, gone. Oh, hang on. Where's our boy now? Crying about his Chinese, all his witnesses. There's his chop suey on the floor. And the guy disappears. Good video. That's fantastic.
That's fantastic evidence, yeah.
And we've got about 18 witnesses here, all who saw it. What do you think?
Well, evidently, it's a winner. You know, guys, in fact, the question is it actually...
It's a criminal offence, surely.
It is a criminal offence.
He's assaulted him, looked back, then done it again, drove into him. He should be in jail, the guy, never mind.
Criminal injuries.
Never mind suing his insurance company for the injuries. It's a criminal offence. He should assault with a deadly weapon. So he'll get damages for his injuries, psychological damages, new sandals and a new Chinese. And there's a man with no shirt on that's causing me psychological damage. It's an absolute 100% winner. They can't possibly defend that.
See you tomorrow, James.
Martin's been working on the John Sutherland case. It appears the driver who hit John turned himself into the police and got off with a caution. Even so, the insurance company aren't exactly rolling over.
They say this: we trust that you're also in receipt of the CCTV footage. We have no offers to make to your client and feel that he was the author of his own misfortune. We trust that you've already discussed this matter with your client and await confirmation that your client no longer wishes to pursue this matter. Just unbelievable. As far as I'm concerned, we get medical evidence as quickly as possible and we issue proceedings. They can have it the nice way or they can have it the nasty way. This lot look like they want it the nasty way.
Amelans are part of a lawyers' collective, which spends $7 million a year on advertising. They've just run a TV campaign, but they're worried the public are sick of endless personal injury ads.
Will I receive 100% of the compensation?
She's now known as Shouty Woman.
Yeah.
Shouty Woman's got to be dead.
But in a way, that's good because that makes us memorable. People remember us because they go, oh yeah, you're Shouty Woman, aren't you? But
They remember the Battle of 1066, but they don't enact it out, do they?
I think time has come, hasn't it, to start looking at other options.
We need there, though, to look outside ourselves and get some market research done then.
Yeah.
Big time. Not a handful of people in Sale in a pub on a Friday afternoon, but proper market research.
Yeah.
Find out what people out there think now.
We need to get onto media
and what do they think about others, not just us.
Yeah.
Oh, good morning.
Hi, morning. I've got an appointment to see Mr. Dandy at 12 o'clock.
Right, can I take your name, sir?
Yeah, it's John Sutherland.
Amelans have arranged a medical for John. When the car hit it, his knee swelled up. His compensation, if Martin and Andrew can win him any, will depend on the extent of his injuries.
I'm hoping to sort of get to the bottom of what's causing the problems in my knee and get it resolved, finally.
Trouble is, John has a history of knee problems.
I have had surgery on my knee previously, but that was through Mr. Dandy again, which had all cleared up and my knee was back to normal.
Right, Mr. Sutherland. Would you like to look at the scans?
Yeah.
Here we are. There is damage on the inner half of the joint here.
Yep.
Which is entirely consistent with the problems you had 10 years ago on the cartridge.
Yep.
Which, of course, is before your accident.
Yep.
As far as looking at the front of the knee where you were struck, there's no abnormality there to show that there's been structural damage from your injury.
Okay.
It's not what John expected to hear. Martin gets sent a copy of the doctor's report.
He's had some treatment to this leg before, and a further trimming in 2002. It seems to be saying that a lot of the problems that the client is now experiencing are as a result of previous injuries, previous treatments. So obviously they wouldn't be reflected in any damages award. It is bad news, but you know it's one of those things. I mean, you can only be compensated for the injuries that you've actually suffered in the accident.
After months of tests and tablets, Andrew has been called in for his heart operation. If it fails, he's still at risk of having a stroke.
It's important to get it out of the way. It's been hanging over now for months. I need to get it sorted out. I'd like to start a fresh year with the new heart.
I know it's a dead simple procedure, but when you're out cold and someone's messing with your heart, it doesn't fill you with the greatest confidence. I'm not wearing that. I'm not weighing in that. I'm not letting them shave me. And I'm not weighing in that.
Andrew's heart problem has been going on for nearly a year, and it's having an impact at the office.
He's been my mate for 20 years, and I've been in partnership with him for 15. It is a very close bond, and obviously I'm very concerned about it, very concerned. And he just tries to make light of it, because that's the way that he deals with things.
I think it'll be a bit later on when doctors start coming in and people start coming and measuring me and testing me out. It'll start to get a bit nervous, but as long as I'm asleep, I'm not bothered.
And when he first told me about this, he's obviously very, very upset about it. I felt very emotional about it. I mean, at the end of the day, he's my mate. You know? So, you know, he's my best mate. So, yeah.
Hi, John.
Friendship at Amelans only goes so far. Whiplash victim Jenny has wasted no time in taking out a compensation claim against Phil.
They have denied liability for your accident. Now, what they've said is, in turn, they've blamed the driver of your vehicle, Phil, and they're holding him responsible. We will obviously still continue to go against them. What we'd need to do is we're going to need to arrange a medical examination for you.
When the medical report's back, Jenny will get an idea of what her claim could be worth.
RTA claims bore me. It's not so much the cars, it's the people. They all want it settled and done and dusted within a month. You know, they think they're going to get 70 odd grand for every single claim because the mate in the pub tells them that, and it's just mundane doing the old, you know, someone's crashed into someone else, blah, blah, blah. It just gets boring.
Things aren't going well for Phil. The insurers say the crash was his fault and they've written off his beloved Escort. Now he's breaking it up for scrap.
I'll stick it on eBay. I'll probably get about 200 for it, hopefully. Just depends if someone wants it. All my money goes on cars. Cars and beer.
The results of Andrew's last-minute pre-op blood tests have come through.
Hello there.
Hi.
Hi, nice to see you.
And you again.
Now, how have you been?
Fine.
Fine, no trouble at all? No?
How's my blood?
Yes, yeah, this is something I've got to discuss with you, actually. I would have liked this to be slightly higher. So we have a choice to make, really, and that is that we could either go ahead with this, or you may prefer to come back when your INR's been above 2.5 reproducibly for 3 weeks. So it's a very difficult decision, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it needs carefully thinking about.
Well, I've got to push that back onto you, that decision.
Right.
Because I don't know the answer.
My advice would be that we should try and get this above 2.5, and then you should come back for the cardioversion.
Right, well, if you say that, I'm doing that then.
Right, fine.
So we're off?
That's what we'll do. So I'm afraid we're off, yeah.
Right, well, I'll get dressed and go home then.
Yeah. Anything else you'd like to ask me?
No.
So, Andrew's back at work. He's going to have to increase his medication before he has another go at the operation.
Every morning, I've got to take one of these, which are amiandrone, which are known as Dracula pills, because you can't go out in the sun. These are warfarin, which are rat poison. You give these to rats in the sewers to thin the blood out so much they have brain hemorrhages and all die. 7.5 rat poisons a day. So my body is full of deadly nightmare rat poison. Throw them all back. Get the Batman glass. Make them go away, Daddy.
Phil's got a battle on his hands. The insurance company are still blaming him for the crash. He's gone back to the scene to get more evidence.
They're just messing about at the end of the day, from what I can see. They just try to deny as long as they can. It's blatantly obviously not my fault. Yeah, I mean, I love my cars, to be honest, so I'm not going to go driving them like a lunatic, because you're going to break stuff. You're going to risk getting involved in crashes, which is obviously going to ruin your vehicle. I mean, as we've seen, my cars have to go up the big scrapyard in the sky now. It's something that I didn't want to happen, but it has done because of someone else's error, not mine.
For Andrew, the nightmares could soon be over. He's back in hospital for a second try at the heart operation.
Hello there, very nice to see you again. Right, everything seems to be perfect.
What number are we on?
We're on 2.8.
Perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. And the one from yesterday was 3.3.
Yeah.
What we're intending to do is give you a very short general anaesthetic and then apply a shock across the chest, which will wipe the electrical activity in the heart clean, and it should start up in its own rhythm.
Kickstart it, yeah?
Yeah, well, yes, yeah, in a way. The sort of, it's 75% successful in cardioverting someone back into a normal rhythm. So there is a chance it won't work.
Now, you're not filming the next bit.
Which is what?
The operation finally went ahead.
It didn't work. The heart stopped for 4 seconds, beat correctly for 3 seconds, and back into the wrong beat. So it was not successful. It left me with a big burn on my chest.
So, Andrew's back on the blood-thinning drugs.
What can you do? Got to suffer it, so let's do it.
After weeks without his beloved escort, Phil's consoling himself with one of his specialist magazines.
Hi mate, I'm just ringing about the 205 GTI for sale in the trader. How's it? All right. See you, bye. Sold. 1.9 one there. 550 quid. Ding dang do. They can all have a laugh if they want, but it'll still go faster than everyone else's at work when I finish with it. Even if it only runs 1 day of the week. Hi, I'm ringing about the 205 GTI you've got for sale in Auto Trader. Have you still got it? Belting.
While Phil finds a new car, Whiplash girl Jenny has had an offer from his insurance company. It's an offer she can refuse.
They've just given me an offer without seeing the medical report, which isn't enough. £1,250.
Send them the medical report, say, I want a better offer, have it. So you should get another offer within the next couple of weeks, which should be within the bracket, and then you can snap it up and go on another holiday.
It is an ongoing tale of cars, and if they last 3 months, it's done well.
He's got a big tank on wheels.
What's he got?
He's got a Volkswagen Golf. They're nice cars, but they're not my kind of car. Too heavy for me. I like little nippy things that I can throw around on a racetrack.
Whereas I prefer a fast, reliable car that starts when I put the key in the engine.
The market research has come back on what the public think about personal injury adverts. It's not Shouty Woman that's the problem.
People are a bit confused with the no win, no fee that is being used at the moment. And it kind of puts them off a bit, it scares them.
For the vast majority of people, 99.99% of the population, this sort of thing is a total irrelevance.
Yeah.
They're not-
Until they've had an
until something happens to them.
And just when they hear the phrase, you'll receive 100% compensation, they're like, well, how does that work then? So if you're talking about making more than one TV ad, obviously that means we can put more information into the TV ads, which will hopefully get rid of that myth.
There's no point in saying, let's change the advert just because we see the figures go down. We should have anticipated that months before so that when an advert starts to lose its effect, we've got another one ready to go straight away.
Despite their earlier complete denial of responsibility, John Sutherland's had a cheque from the Rogue Drivers Insurance Company.
Hello, mate.
It's a reduced figure in the light of the doctor's report.
£6,000. I feel I should have got more, but it works out about 2,300 for the actual injury. The rest is loss of earnings. I feel I should have got more, but they've done well. I mean, I can't complain.
You know, quite naturally, people think, you know, if I'm a victim of crime, then I deserve more than if somebody just runs into me by accident. But, you know, it doesn't work that way. You know, and it represents, you know, a fair amount. If it didn't represent a fair amount, we wouldn't have accepted it.
No win, no fee has meant a lot of bad press for solicitors. But after the initial gold rush, things are settling down. Latest figures show claims are actually falling, and some of the big firms specialising in personal injury have folded. But the image of cash-hungry claimants with bogus accidents is hard to shake off.
And we don't want to end up like the Americans suing everybody for £1 million, but people are just being made aware of the rights, and the mass objection against it will die down to a certain extent.
The reality is that it costs us a hell of a lot to get the work in one way or another, and we're facing massive challenges from insurers in terms of actually paying us for the work we've done. There's going to be a lot of firms over the next couple of years who are going to go bust.
The insurers have agreed to pay Jenny £2,000 for her whiplash. Phil's still waiting for his case to settle, but it hasn't slowed him down.
So I've gone and bought a Peugeot 205, little pocket rocket. I've always liked the look of these, it's a little 80s hot hatch, but I've never been one to buy a car because it looks nice. I'll buy it because it goes fast and it handles well. Public transport's absolutely disgusting, I hate it, so I had to go and buy a car. I can't not be on the road.
So do you two think you'll always stay together?
Yeah,
absolutely.
We've nowhere else to go. Nobody likes us.
Nobody likes us. Nobody'd have us.
So
we've only got each other.
Let's stay here. I'm a nodding dog.